ಪರಮಭಾಗವತ ಮೌನಿವರ ಶಶಿ ವಿಭಾಕರ ಸನಕ ಸನಂದನ ದಿಗೀಶ ಸುರ ಕಿಂಪುರುಷ ಕನಕ ಕಸಿಪು ಸುತ ನಾರದ ತುಂಬುರು ಪವನ ಸೂನುಡ್ ಅರ್ಧಚಂದ್ರಧರು ಸುಖ ಸರೋಜ ಭವ ಭೂಸುರ ಬರುಲು పరమ పావనులు ఘనులు శాశ్వతులు కమల భవ సుఖము సదానుభవులుగా వారెందరూ మహానుభావులు. My only qualification to be here this evening is that I speak Telugu. I do not know anything about the science of music. I never met Mr. Subbudu. Of course, Krishna Kumar as a lawyer is known to me. When they came to invite me, I asked the question, why me? Because I don't think nothing to do. Then Mr. Krishna Kumar said, just Chelameswar, we understand that you listen to music. I said, yes, I listen to music. That's my only association. I know nothing about it. Then he said, late Mr. Subbudu always used to say, knowing the science of music is not necessary for somebody to enjoy the beauty of music. If you can enjoy the beauty of music, that's good enough qualification to be here this evening, he said. And I was left with not much of a choice. When I read out those lines from Tyagaraja, all of us know it's quite fashionable. Some of them do it very reverently. Some of them simply say it. I remember the former President Kalam, when he addressed the Parliament for the first time, opened with that statement, and the Mahanubhavu. I know he did it with great reverence. The point is, I was a very fond student of Telugu literature before I became a lawyer. If destiny did not bring me to the field of law, in all probability I would have ended up as a teacher of Telugu. Though I don't know a word about music, the science of music, I know perhaps the lyric of 100 Tyagaraja Krutis, because they are my mother tongue. Now, on an occasion like this, since I do not know anything about the science of music, nor did I ever meet late Mr. Subbudu, so I was really pondered over what should be the content of my speech. So, one old advice given by somebody, when you know nothing about the subject, you can talk about everything. Now, I will trouble you, I won't trouble you then. But I know this much about music. The whole universe consists of vibrations. And as a student of physics, I know at a particular range of the spectrum, the vibrations create sound. And sound has the ability to generate various emotions in human beings. A huge explosion can generate an emotion of fear. Like that, every frequency, every magnitude of the frequency has the capacity to generate differing emotions in human beings. In fact, I don't know, some of you must have seen an old Telugu movie, a 3-decade-old Telugu movie, very popular those days, a movie called Shankarabharanam. There's a wonderful scene in that about the music. I mean, the whole thing is about music and a musician. And at a particular occasion, that man chaids somebody who is supposed to be experimenting with music and wonderfully explains the whole thing. He says, look here, don't destroy the whole thing in the name of music, experiment. For every emotion, there is a specific Shruti, there is a specific Tala. And he explains it beautifully. He says, a child who's rudely woken up in the sleep out of some bad dream says Amma in a particular, with a particular intonation, a particular Shruti. A child who is hurt, who suffers an injury, says the same word in a different intonation. So, like that, for every expression, for every anubhuti says, there is a specific, all those musical notation there. So, don't, without knowing, understanding all these things, don't try to make any experiments with music. I think that beautifully summed up the whole thing. Now, why are we here this evening? What is the purpose of remembering somebody like Mr. Subbuda? For that matter, any great personality who had some contribution to this society. Once again, you will pardon me from quoting from a Telugu work. The first Jnanpith Award recipient from Andhra Pradesh was a gentleman called Vishwanath Satyanarayana. As a prolific writer, among many other things, he wrote Ramayana in Telugu, known as the title Ramayana Kalpavruksha. In the opening chapter of that book, he wrote in the form of a poem. I don't want to recite the poem. Or if somebody, perhaps there must be somebody knowing Telugu in this audience. I'll read it out and explain it to you. Marala nidela Ramayanam varnacho ee lokamelna inninaluga tinnayanname tinusunnayadi. Says, why are you attempting Ramayana once again? If somebody asks that question, his answer was this. This whole world is eating the same food. Our grandfather ate the same food, father ate the food. We ate yesterday, still we are eating. The rest of it is not very necessary for us at this stage. Alright, I'll recite it. Chesina samsarame cheyusunnayadi. So, grandfathers went through the process of samsara, forefathers. We have gone through it. But why are we doing it? The answer comes in the next line. Tanadaina ruchi bratukulu tanavekana. Because every man's taste is unto himself. Every man's life is unto himself. As the traditional Indian belief is, when a human being loses taste for food, his days are counted. That's what traditionally elders told us. So therefore, the author says, the implication of the poem is, the day, why did he choose this example? The explanation by the scholars is, the day this country loses taste for, I'm not talking about the divinity, the Hindutva part of it, I'm not about. But take it as a great work of human conduct and discipline. If you look at it from that point of view, it has a great message. So the day this country forgets this, doesn't enjoy the taste of this, perhaps the civilization of this country is coming to an end. Similarly, therefore, remember it, repeat it, write it. That's the purpose for which I am writing essay. Similarly, so long as we remember these great personalities who contributed to the growth and sustenance of these various arts, the culture of this country is safe, and that's perhaps the purpose of an occasion like this. On this occasion, I pay my respects to late Mr. Subbuda. I thank every one of you for giving me a patient hearing. I'll just add one last sentence. Very frequently nowadays we hear that everybody complaining, Telugus, Tamils, Kannadigas complaining that their language is in danger. And then everybody vies for that status of an ancient language. There's a lot of people in Andhra Pradesh who believe that Telugu is in great danger, is almost on the verge of extinction. I'm sure everybody believes about their own respective mother tongues. I always told my friends, Telugu is safe so long as people of Tamil Nadu don't lose their taste for music. Because so long as they don't lose their taste for music, they'll have to remember Tyagaraja. Music is